to give communication the rigid definition of field of science, but I always like to give communication, or telecommunication as we sometimes call it, a more lively definition. To me, I think that communication is the study of methods of allowing people to share knowledge or share their experiences.
Communication is a field full of smart ideas, brilliant innovations that really poses a challenge for every researcher in this field.
Communication, people used to think about communication as connecting different distances, so it's related to geographical area. However, these days communication is more of linking things together and unlinking things from each other. So it's even these days we have personal area networks, we are communicating different areas within the body. So the previous thinking about long distance is not there anymore. We have more and more application evolving.
Communication to me is exchange of ideas, and there are various means by which we can actually communicate with each other. It's a fundamental to development of the society, and this is why it is so important nowadays, when it is the age of communication, that we should exchange ideas and spread the information all around.
Previously, communication was narrowed to mean how people get in touch with others by means of wired telephone or letters through the post office. However, communication nowadays means how people get connected anywhere at any time in any part of the world by means of a wired or wireless telephone network, email, fax, or through the latest technologies.
Communication is the process of sending required information with the best quality securely, regardless of the channel condition.
I am interested in using mathematical tools to study various phenomena in communications. So the mathematical tools I use are linear algebra, random matrix theory, stochastic processes, compressive sensing, etc. As for the problems to solve, basically it's transmitter and receiver design, especially in the presence of high mobility, high user mobility, multi-user communications, which is basically how the broadcast and group broadcast problem behave in the presence of a high number of users, opportunistic communications, feedback in techniques for the broadcast problems.
Communication for me is a basic human need. People are built to communicate with each other. You cannot separate someone from the rest of the world. In engineering, you can facilitate the communication either through voice, through data, through texting, through video, and it is basically everyone's enjoyment. This is the reason behind the recent social applications like Facebook, like messaging and other things. Maybe like around a big percent of the population of the earth are now communicating with each other just through distance. They never see each other, and it feels like a real communication.
You see, I chose communication long time ago, 1964 I would say, and because at that time I could see that this is a vital part of, you see, electrical engineering, and communication engineering at that time was coming up. Everybody was going into power, and we were only 12 students who had chosen communications. I could see very bright future in it, and this has become later on as the largest job giver or employment opportunities in the world.
I love probability theory, and in communication Random errors happen due to the channel conditions and needs to be corrected smartly.
Communication is a vibrant, fast-changing field that you would really expect that you can add something with your contribution and with your research to the huge activity going on worldwide.
I have chosen to do research in communication because I was biased by one of my instructors during my undergraduate studies at Case Western Reserve University, Cleveland, Ohio. His presentations were very attractive, and that attracted me to do research in this area.
Okay, so communication is the fabric of today's world. I mean, like, it has transformed today's world, our world, into a small village. So by working on problems in communications, I feel that I'll be affecting the lives of many people. That's one reason why I like communications. The other reason is that communication presents challenging problems, where, as I mentioned earlier, where I use state-of-the-art mathematical tools to solve them. So basically, because of these two reasons, I find research in this area very exciting.
Nowadays, there are many opportunities in communication. There are many applications, networking companies, voice, audio, telecom companies. So in fact, if you go for communication, if you continue research in communication, you can work in many different diverse areas. This makes communication a good choice for now and the future.
My interest was in engineering from my early days. Basically, I was into math and physics, so I have many options actually. But at the end, you have to select one direction to go. So I went with the popular electrical engineering, and then when I explored the majors inside the electrical engineering, I found communication is more close to me. You need probability theory, you need system design, you need electronics to implementation. So I felt comfortable with this major, and I decided to go into it deep and continue my studies in it.
I always loved communication. In fact, I was thinking of building my first radio transmitter when I was in high school, which I eventually did when I entered the undergraduate school here at KPPM. Communication has been a very good experience in my life. In fact, if I had the chance to go back, it would certainly be the field that I would study again and again, without any doubt.
We look to contribute to the areas of multi-hop networking and MIMO systems, which are evolving so fast these days. Of course, graduate students will be required in order to conduct these challenging tasks.
My vision for the communication group is to be one of the pioneers in implementation advanced communication systems. I like to go from the paperwork and theoretical part into actually implementing a system from A to Z, testing it, showing the industry that it is possible to accomplish whatever new advancement that will be proposed in the future years.
Our communication group is the largest in the department. It has lots of young, vibrant faculty who've graduated from outstanding schools. So I encourage you to join it. The faculty here have lots of collaboration in the communication group, have lots of collaboration amongst them, and also lots of collaboration with outside schools, like, for example, Caltech, USC, University of Texas. Within 10 years, I see ourselves to be a world leader in the coming 10 years, where we work on practical communication problems and use state-of-the-art mathematical tools to bring good solutions to them.
I really dream and wish my dreams come true, that we will have well sophisticated, advanced labs where we would have more and more experimental and practical research compared to what we have right now.
I can see the communication research group at KFPN 10 years from now on doing great and marvelous things in the areas of wireless.
I see that wireless communication, which is my area, is going to expand even further, and all the communication services which are being given on landline by means of landline will be given by wireless communication. And it has got a lot of advantages. For example, you see it is ubiquitous in communication system. You can communicate from anywhere to anywhere, and I see that this is very convenient for a human being, and you are not dependent upon the landline telephones. So I see bright future, and the research, in my opinion, has just started in wireless communication, because there are a lot of complicated systems which we have to study.
Our communication group is working hard, and I hope within 10 years from now we'll be more interested in prototypes, coming up with hardware, conducting experimental measurements. I mean, this is one direction of research that I wish to see our communication group going on. Prototypes, experimental setups, and output real products.
We have a very active group here in the EE department, a very active communication group. With the support of the signal processing group, I believe that the communication group has been able to establish itself locally and regionally. And I believe that in the next 10 years, the communication group will be able to possibly establish itself, hopefully internationally.